Hi, this is the Gypsy Rover with Jokers on duty, and also, I hate that one that falls down. And okay, stay put, stay, stay. Thank you. uh, anyhow, my phone's kind of wobbly all over the place, but yeah, if you can tell, I bought my Fog TV shirt from Paul Loser, a really really nice one, and I do thank him for bringing this shirt out to me, and that so and that so again and that so we had a nice visit last night, and that downstairs. And too bad the weather couldn't have been any nicer. And that we weren't expecting the weather to change as quick as it did, and that kind of thing. Maybe in the nicer weather they'll come back out and that kind of thing, and we'll be able to actually hang. We'll have more time to hang out and that kind of thing, and that when all the snow's gone and that. And so anyhow, again, I've got my Fog TV shirt, and which is Paranormal Hunters of Guelph, and that, which is really really cool. And also too, he is selling T-shirts, and that kind of thing, um, and that. And that so again with his designs only, and that kind of thing, and that also too if also too he left me one of his business cards and that kind of thing, or a couple of them anyways, getting and that. uh, so it says his business card on it and his information if you need to if you want to get a hold of him to purchase a shirt, or even if you have if you live in a historical building of any kind and you've experienced any ghost sightings or strange apparitions or whatever, and that he's the lead investigator. He'll come in and investigate that for you, and that. So you can contact him there. And that. So that's his card. And every night for MFers, to follow MFers with Michael Klotz, every night from 8 till 9 p.m. And that he gave me his business card as well, and that. So I do have a couple of these, and that, and that. So it's got his information on it and that kind of thing. That you can follow him on Facebook and that. Every night from 8 to 9 o'clock, and that with the MFers, and that. So and that. So I always love those sessions and that. So I enjoy watching them. Like I get a lot out of them and that kind of thing, and that. So we'll put those aside. And anyhow, uh, I would show you the back. Actually, show you the actual the back of my shirt. This says Paranormal Hunters of Guelph on it. But again, I don't think no, it's kind of hard because I don't have somebody actually. Well, maybe I can quickly, which what POG stands for, and that's so. You, so I turn all the way around. Can you guys see that? Yeah. So and that it's kind of hard when I don't have somebody holding my camera to focus on it, and that. And anyhow, we are at 12:20. So you can see the clock there, and not and that no maybe not quite 12 yet. 11:20. Sorry, I'm ahead of schedule, so it's 11:20. So 20 after 11. I forgot I had an early lunch, and that. So this is a nice little digital clock. I actually got it for $3 at one of the used bookstores here for $3. Really really nice clock. Very heavy porcelain. You can tell it's glass. Do not want to drop that. And that. Too bad it does not one of those flip watch like Michael Klotz has that I can actually clip it closed and make that cool clipping sound. That one doesn't do this. It's glass. It doesn't have a lid to it, so and that. So again, I go over here, get a Dr. Pepper, and that. So also too, I thought I'd have a quick social, and so anyhow, but I'm so glad to see that they made it into Wiarton safely and made it home safely, and that. Again, we were, like I said, Wiarton wasn't ready for this big early snowstorm squall. We do know normally we do get our first snowfall this time of year, but for the last 3 years it's been so nice up till Christmas Eve, and this is hit early, so that like Wiarton's hit with snow so early and very quicker than it should have this year, and snow just come through early, and that kind of thing. So we had a major snowstorm last night, and that's so. This is why I'm totally so shocked that it's hit this early, and that. So again, that's why I said probably in the nicer weather. I'll have a longer time to visit with them and that kind of thing. When the weather gets nicer, and they're actually the weather starts getting nicer for driving and that, and also too, and that. So again, like I will be following Paul's TV shows and everything else like that, because I'm into a lot of paranormal hunting shows and that kind of thing. I always like them, just like I'm into the X-Files and the Most Haunted, hauntings, that kind of thing on real life, mystery shows and that kind of thing, and that. So again. But yeah, I just love my my Fog TV shirt. I think it's real neat. Peace, love, positivity, and that. So I actually enjoyed meeting Michael Klotz and Paul last night, and that. If you check out my Facebook page, we actually did a meet and greet video downstairs in my apartment building, and that kind of thing. On how and I do apologize. My hair was kind of sticking up under my hat, is because the wind yesterday and just waiting on them outside, and that just excited to meet them and that kind of thing. Just my hair just went just like Chucky. Have you ever seen Child's Play? Like my hair was, I'm smart to wear my hat downstairs, but if my hat was off, I would have had a Chucky hairdo, and that. So like it was so funny. It was so windy yesterday, and it's and that. Too bad the weather didn't stay nice and that, and so anyhow, again, there will be the Christmas Eve Joker's on duty night with the fireplace, and with the Christmas lights and that kind of thing, and then there'll be the New Year's Eve countdown on here live, and that. So also too, again, there is so again, like I said, it was a nice visit yesterday. I enjoyed that, and I got to meet Paul, and I got to meet Mike, and they're really, really nice people and that kind of thing, and that. So and plus I enjoy watching the MFers every night and that kind of thing, tuning in on that. So that is 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock p.m. Last night was late. Again, they apologize for that. It was because they did they had brought my T-shirt out to me here, and that I had ordered, and he was doing a hand delivery. He was actually personally delivering it, and the one that I have on, and that. So that kind of made them, because they had to take the back roads, and then because they were late getting here, and then they were late getting back, so it was a bit of a later show. But and that. So I tuned in on that show too, and that kind of thing. And also MFers is sometime in the summer of 2020 is going to make an actual planning on making an actual world tour, and where they're gonna actually world tour and actually meet and greet with MFers all around the world, and that kind of thing, and that. So that'll be interesting to actually see them follow on live on the MFers and that when they start the world tour then, and to kind of see where they're all going, and meeting all their followers, all their all the MFers and that kind of thing, and so. And then too, they'll probably have he'll probably be at more live concerts and that kind of thing, and that. So coming up whenever whenever they end up being scheduled and that. So also you can tell at the back. You're probably wondering with the red. I'm glad the bottom is not showing as much. I decided to do a little bit of the decorating at the back, on the back door with the little wrapping paper, but unfortunately, I would have, but I ran out of tape, so I didn't really get to finish the door at the bottom, and that kind of thing. I think I'm going to worry about that, because you don't really see much of the bottom anyways, you just see the main part of it, which is the colorful part of it. Again, hopefully that tape holds. Like everything else around here doesn't wish to hold. I should have got the stronger tape. But this tape is good. The Scotch tape is good. And that, I'm just hoping and praying that tape holds. Because that's the cheap tape, and it doesn't like to hold on anything. And that. So... And oh man, my clock is cold. It must have been my digital clock is it's cold. And it's one of those old-fashioned ones. So you kind of just all you have to do is just kind of twist and set it in the middle. It's not battery operated or anything, and then it spins around itself. And it's the good old Ruminal numbers, and like the Navy style, and that you can buy. You don't see many of those around anymore. Like we're in the digital technology and that kind of thing now, and these old Ruminal numbers now, you don't see them anymore. It's it's either the 4-digit the 4-digit in the middle dot numbers, and then the little flashing up at the PM and the little flashing up at the AM, and that kind of thing, that you actually electronically have to set with your fingers. A lot of these old Ruminal numbers are disappearing. You don't see them anymore. You're going back ages. I'm going to show you the clock again. Anybody who ever grew up in the time of Ruminal numbers was a big thing before digital came in. You'll probably remember, and I'll show you that again. And that, not bad for a used a gadget store for like $3. I got that for. Normally you'd be paying an arm and a leg for something like this. And that, I'm gonna get a closer look, and it's well designed, and see, it tells the time, and it's got the Ruminal number starting at 12, and that, so it's one of those old antique ones, antique clocks, and you put up on a shelf, but again, it is glass. That's why I said, too bad this wasn't a flip pocket watch. You could just shut the door on and that kind of thing. But if any of these glass ones ever had one of these, I think the porcelain glass, so you can hear it, will actually shatter and break. And anyhow, not bad for $3. And I'm just waiting until they get a big grandfather clock in there for $15, because I've seen one in there before for only $15, and it's one of those used stores, and normally you don't get them for that cheap plus tax. The day I ever see one of those in there going for about $15 to $16, that is a good deal. That I grab it up or show up in their auction because they'd have an auction window that you buy tickets on, that you can actually bid on, and that kind of thing. You can pay money to buy a ticket and say you're paying so much on that ticket, and if your ticket's pulled or whatever, and you win that auction, that item becomes yours. It's bought and paid for, and that something like that. Or if you go to the live auction and you got the money on it, you can bid with how much you want and that for it, and that kind of thing. You buy a ticket to, and they give you a certain number or whatever. And if your number's called up and you're the highest bid or lowest bid, whatever, and you get that item, that is not bad. Those are the only way you can get antique stuff like that nowadays. Nowadays you don't even get that. I was surprised that this was actually in the sale section for like $3. It's just a mini one. And I was shocked. I went in there and it's $3 for an old Lumino clock. I'm like, that's a lot better than going to an antique store and paying $350 for it, or $3,050 for it, and that kind of not bad at all. And that so. So anyhow, so now. I think every Facebook streamer now is showing up and flashing clocks on their Facebook. Mike, I think you started something there, buddy. With the pocket watch. I think every Facebook streamer now is going to go out running around out there buying watches and pocket watches and clocks, and every time a certain time they're ready to come on live for a live show, they're actually gonna flash show off their clock and have a big clock contest every time right, if they start the show right on time or whatever. And that maybe I should get my Harry Potter wand out and point at every digit or every luminal number and say, this is what time it is. Okay. So anyhow, so that way, so Mike will pull out his pocket digital, his actual pocket watch. You click it open and say, tea time Thursday tonight. Tea time, 8 o'clock, right on time. Too bad if I had a I can't wait to start the coffee socials on here. Carry my clock around and say, okay, this is what time it is. It is coffee and tea time. Or coffee social time or whatever, or tea social time. And everybody would actually get a kick out of that, and but the only thing is about my clock, it don't sing and dance. You don't have to worry about that. He doesn't. He did not have no witch spell put on him or anything else like that, and he's not gonna dance around my house and sing with my actual candle holders, because I do have real candle holders, but since we live in an apartment building that does not allow you to burn candles. Not even at Christmas time or whatever, we have to go down to these what you call these electronical ones, like these, and that kind of thing, that actually run by battery that you turn on, and that's a safety issue, and that I don't know. So, but yeah, no, my clock is not gonna go with my dresser and my china plates. I'm not gonna go dancing around the living room. You don't ever have to worry about that. But again, it is. I'm glad I got. A good thing I spotted that for at the used store there and that kind of thing, and I got a good deal on that clock. And that also too, summertime. When summertime hits around next year, in the new year. We have Wiarton is big for yard selling in the nice weather. A lot of cheap deals, everything. People throw up yard sales and that kind of. You go around, out in everything out, summer outdoor markets and that kind of thing. It is you could spend a lot of money at these yard sales. You could buy even flea markets. You buy up a lot of nice things and that kind of thing. Talking from somebody who hates shopping. It's not big on shopping. It's not the fact that I don't like going out shopping. are spending money to go shopping, what my theory is, it's the other customers that get pushing and shoving, and that kind of thing, because they get rude, and especially Christmas time, around this time of year, they actually get so bad. Like, let's say if you see something, you buy something off the shelf, and you're on your way to the checkout counter, if you're not looking, they'll actually steal it right out of your cart on you, and they'll actually go into your cart and take it right out of your actual shopping cart. Some customers are bad that way, and because they get arrogant, they get pushing and shoving, and that's the only part about Christmas shopping I don't like. Other than that, I love spending. When I have the spending money, I love, all year round. If I go out to buy some movies or go out to buy some Blu-rays or whatever, the rest of the time of year I don't have to worry about the terrible shoppers are going to, they're going to get pushy and shovey. You only see it around Christmas time for some reason, especially when you have the big last minute Black Friday sales. You have the big glass midnight moonlight sales, Christmas Eve shopping, where all the malls stay open until like 2 in the morning, and that to finish your Christmas shopping and that kind of thing, so it's I just love going to those sales and that kind of thing, so I'm glad, but I am so glad that me and my wife, we got our Christmas shopping all done, finally. So that way we don't have to worry about the big lineups. We don't have to put with the big crowds, because I know come Christmas Eve, is going to be the worst day for Christmas shopping. Everybody's out the last minute, and, there's a mad dash to buy up certain things, and so that day, if you're going into looking to buy, if you got your heart set on to buying a certain thing, don't count on it being there, because somebody else probably bought it before you did, and that kind of thing. Because Christmas Eve is usually, that's where you get a lot of the wild shoppers. They go crazy. Like right when the doors open, big crowds, they storm in there like a herd of elephants, and they clean the shelves right out. They buy the stores right out that day, and that kind of thing. That is their big money making day, and that kind of thing. But yeah, so I thought I'd, have just a bit of a social and that kind of thing, now some of the socials up to Christmas Eve will probably again be under some of the Christmas, because we're getting closer to Christmas. It is the month of December. And I'm actually going to give you a treat on here. I'm actually going to turn the Christmas lights on. So for the next couple nights leading up to Christmas, considering they still work, I didn't burn out any more bulbs, Christmas bulbs, I will turn on the Christmas lights. It was And like I said last night, I had a good visit with. I had a wonderful, and I thank them for coming. I thank Michael Glotz and Paul Lucia for coming all the way out this way, with my T-shirt. I do apologize for the weather. We weren't expecting the weather to get bad this quick a change, because usually we don't get this bad weather until like the 24th of December. I thought it was going to stay nice till the 24th of December, and so the driving would be easier on people. But no, it's starting to get bad early. And but anyways, if the weather had been a lot nicer, Jokers on Duty would have had a big treat for you too. I was actually I again like that opportunity is still open anytime they want to come out in the nicer weather in the summertime or whatever. If they want to run an MFers live out of my Jokers on Duty studio, they're always welcome to. that kind of thing. With it being Christmas, if the weather had been nice and the roads had been nice, and they had time to stick around and that kind of thing. I did open my Jokers on Duty studio for them anytime they wish to, and that. So I had set the Christmas lights up. Thought maybe they would have loved to do their MFers out of here and that kind of thing. That way they were on time with their MFers and that kind of thing. But no, because the weather was so bad, they had to get back. So that's why their last night show was a little late and that kind of thing due to weather and that. But like I said, my Jokers on Duty studio is always open to them anytime they wish to. If they're out this way and that kind of thing, when the nicer weather starts coming in, that kind of thing, and they want to run an MFers live out of my studio, they're most welcome to. I have no issues with that. I run my Jokers on Duty out of here. Excuse me. My lunch decides it's going to back up. Always does. But I do keep that under control with medication, but for some reason today my pill's not working. But anyhow, so again I put the fireplace on, keeping the chill out of here. Ooh, it's cold out here, in here, and now it's really starting to feel like the North Pole here. I would not want to live at the North Pole. It'd be too cold for me. I'd be joining the snowbirds flying south for the winter, down south to the hot weather. But I don't think I'd be able to handle that hot weather either. Lucky enough, I only have to put up with the hot weather once a year. I don't think I could live in it all year round. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. As much as it's nice, even with the cold, I don't think I could live in the cold 24 hours a day either. Excuse me. I don't think my fireplace is actually working. There we go. Boost the heat up a bit. But yeah, so and actually I got also too I got a couple new icons on my came through my mobile phone for Jokers. Oh, there goes my phone sliding again. For Jokers on Duty. I really love the Jumanji one. That's because the movie's starting in what is it? I think next week or something like that, closer to Christmas. So it's in theaters in time for Christmas. Maybe it's already in theaters. But according to the advertisement, it looks really, really cool. And also too, like the Star Wars is still on here. There is a couple Christmas ones on here starting to come through, and a lot of cool. Oh, and then another new one. A lot of people get a kick out of it. If you remember the cartoon Woody Woodpecker show, he was like one of those those birds that peck at trees with his beak. And I remember that old cartoon growing up with that. There's actually an icon on here for that. I was quite shocked. I love that icon. I get a kick out of that icon. You get a full face mask of them, and that kind of thing. I haven't seen the Roadrunner on here yet, but I guess eventually over time we're going to see the Roadrunner on here too. Icon, I think, and also too, a lot of Christmas movies are starting on Netflix and that too. I like to sit back and look at that, watch those. I got a whole other room full of movies. I'm a big buyer and collector of horror movies. I love my horror movies. Even during Christmas time, I can sit here and watch horror movies. There is Christmas horror movies you can buy. There is Santa Sleigh. There is Santa Comes Twice. Again, my phone likes to slide. My Santa tin's not holding things up properly here. There we go. And, oh yeah, like I said, there's Santa Sleigh, Santa Comes Twice. They're both horror movies. There's Black Christmas, and that kind of thing. And that, so it's stuff along the line of supernatural, paranormal type movies, that kind of thing, which I'm not big into, and that kind of thing. Like I like watching those. I found out today. There are abandoned buildings in the Wyerton area, on the South Bruce Peninsula area, that have a history of hauntings. That Paul Lucer might be interested in picking up on this area too, since we're the closest ones to Guelph. I was talking to a few people today. They were saying, and that, so they're going to get back to me on where the locations are. But again, because the fact there is still ownership over and above, even though the buildings are abandoned. Apparently, they had a problem before with a ghost tracking team from the United States. There is still owners that own these buildings. Even though they're abandoned, there is still property owners that own them, and I guess the ghost tracking team in the States kind of pushed the way in without authorization and upset the township here. And I think they were from somewhere in Michigan or somewhere, and that tried coming through before, but they got nailed because they went in without permission. And that, so if you're if you're a ghost tracking team or whatever, apparently these abandoned buildings still has, even though they are abandoned, somebody still owns them. Apparently, still paying taxes on them and still has it under their name or whatever. But I don't know how that is if it's an abandoned building. But apparently, I guess if it's a haunted building and people deserted it. And that, apparently there's still owners that still own that property. It's still considered private property no matter what, and I guess there's still owners that still privately own those properties even though they're not being used or they've been abandoned or whatever. Apparently somebody still owns those properties, and there's still an ownership you still have to go through to get cleared to go in, and that kind of thing. Which kind of shocked me, because usually if a building's been abandoned for so many years, there's not even a trace of an ownership of why it's still owning the place. But I guess for the Wyerton area, a lot of these abandoned haunted places are still logged in the township books, and then apparently somebody still owns them. So, I mean, still paying the taxes on the property or whatever. But again, it's an empty abandoned building. There is next to us here. There's the old abandoned. Foodland built a new building. Again, over here, there is the old Foodland that's empty and that kind of thing. I don't know if that lot's ever had any ghost history. Some people say it did. That, like, a lot of this went on before I moved here, and that. So this is just what I'm hearing, anyways, and that. So. I have to. I'm listening around to check. I'm listening around and trying to pick up to see if they're actually legitimate. Because I've told them, I said if there was a ghost tracking team was going to come through and they were going to get permission to go in to investigate the ghost sightings or whatever, I've told them you need to be legitimate on stuff, and that kind of thing. So that way, because it's the type of thing that is taken seriously, and that kind of thing, and that. So, so I'm a type of person. I actually check in and I research things too, and I ask questions. I ask around, and that kind of thing, and that. But even though the building is would be classified as being abandoned, or it's had a history at one point of ghost sightings or whatever, before a ghost tracking team can actually go in there, the leading investigator actually has to find out who owns that building, and that kind of thing, and actually get permission to go through, so it can be open to them to go through, and that kind of thing. They can't, I guess apparently they just cannot storm in like the FBI, or like an like an OPP SWAT team going after taking down taking taking down a bad guy or something like that. But apparently, even though the property may be abandoned or whatever, apparently somebody is still sitting there, actually owning the place, and that kind of thing. It's sitting in the closet, still hiding tax money that they're paying for that abandoned place, and that kind of thing. Or they're still, it's still under some relative's name or whatever. And that kind of thing. It's been handed down so many times. And that kind of thing. They just choose not to have anything to do with the place, but they still have to pay taxes on it. They still have to. They legally still claim and they own it, and that kind of thing. And it's all this ownership thing that they have to go through. Like again, it's. But again, there is a lot of buildings too that is not banded, that has experienced ghost hauntings too, or is actually haunted. But some people, they're just dumb enough to stay there. They're not. They're what you call. They've got to be pretty brave to actually still live in a place that is actually haunted. Like I sure wouldn't, and that kind of thing. I'd be packing a suitcase and I'll be like, see ya, I'm out of here. The spooks are moving and I'm moving out. I would not take no chances. Like, I mean, I am brave to a certain point, but, actually having to live with them, no, I probably would not, I would not be that brave like most people would be. This is this is Wiarton we're talking about here. We do have the old Ridgeview house where Fran and I used to live. When we lived here before in 2004, we were told that place was haunted. But again, it is inhabited. It is actually, people are actually owning it. People are actually still living in it. And that kind of thing it is. But again, like, there is haunted houses that have been haunted for centuries, that are very old and historical, where people are still living in, and today. And it's they know it's there, they're afraid of it, but they don't. They sit comfortably there and they put up with it, and they don't. They're not. Some people are just not afraid to run out on it, and that kind of thing. They actually sit there and they actually think it's funny. These spooks are spooking them in the middle of the night or whatever, and the light flickers, like they've got a poltergeist problem, the lights are flickering on and off, and they see it, they know it's haunted, it has a history, but again, they're just so crazy enough to still live there. They don't let it chase them out. It's but again, they open up and say, "Oh, our place is haunted. We went buying it," but then they don't move. They actually, like I said, this is Wiarton, and they like to sit comfortably, and that. So and they'll sit in the living room. They think they get out the popcorn, and they're probably horror movie fans, probably used to it, and then real life haunting in their living room, and they'll sit there and they'll munch on popcorn and watch lights flicker on and off. They're so soap opera-ish. They love it. I mean, they think they'll sit back and they think it's just so cool and funny, and that. But they don't realize on the energy genetics of it all, and that kind of thing. But no, some people, it don't bother them. Some people are just, they're just like that. They're just, they're scared of it. They see it, but, they witness it. But, nope, they keep quiet about it. They don't say anything about it to nobody, only to certain people. You can hear them talking about it, and in some ways, they're afraid of it. But, again, they'll just sit there and they take it. They sit there and they actually sit back and they just think, they say, oh cool, we're living in an actual haunted house, it's a big thing, like they'll sit there with their popcorn and that kind of thing, and they just sit there and it's going on in front of their eyes and that, and this apparition reveals itself to them or whatever, or they hear noises in the house at night or whatever, and because they say they hear them, and they know the place is haunted, but again they're just so crazy enough to stay there. It's I think anybody, I don't know. I think maybe I would be one of those crazy people, but maybe not. I think like I was scared out of my wits when I was 10 or 9 years of age when I went to Camp Northern Lights as a kid, and I actually witnessed an actual two shadow apparitions of the two native headless headhunters from Hunter's Cabin itself, where that cabin is really haunted today. And again, people are living in it. And, there's this historical story of the place being haunted, and it's been proven the place is haunted, but people continue to live in it. It's at one time it was banned because the hauntings that went on, and today the hauntings still go on those grounds. But again, it still gets rented out. It's the property owners will still rent it out no matter if it's haunted or not, and they know it's haunted, but they don't say anything. They still rent them out, and then the people are there. They're up all night and they're complaining because the place is haunted, or they're screaming because it's scaring them. And that, but again, they continue to go back there. They constantly continue to go back there and rent the place for a camping session or whatever, or for a weekend or whatever. Just kind of that generation today. That's why I said it is so funny. Again, it was at one time at the top of the hill here. Which is actually being reconstruction and renovated today, just up here by the eye doctor. There's an old house. Apparently it has a history of being haunted or whatever, and they're renovating it up, and they're going to sell it off, and that kind of thing. The real estate company that is selling it knows the history of it. They researched the history of it. Because I've heard them talking up there a couple times. I'm not one to eavesdrop, but I walk by, I can't help overhearing it. They have said, yes, there's been history, the place is haunted. It's been there for years, it's been abandoned for years. Now, since people are actually renovating it, basically they're telling their staff not to say anything, is to go ahead and sell it out. Once it's renovated, sell it off outright. And that kind of thing. So yeah. So anyways, I a bit about pause there, and that. So just a little bit of phone security here. Because again, I've been getting I get weird calls too now and then. People phoning and hanging up and that kind of thing, and nobody speaking at the other end. It's so dead quiet, silence. So that's why I had that bit of a pause in that way, because again, we do have 3 phones in the house, and that kind of. To make sure that was one, but again, they're telling that their mortgage team that yeah, we know the place has got a history, we know it's haunted, it was abandoned for so many years. Once it's renovated, don't tell anybody it is haunted. Just sell it off, and because a lot of real estate companies, they want the money out of it. They figure if it's property, they don't want to lose the money on the value of the property. They don't care how old it is or how much money they're putting into it. They want all the money back. so they don't care if it's haunted or not. They're going to sell it off. So that means when the people move into it, buy it, move into it, and the moment, you know, the moment they start seeing things or they start hearing things, or you know, you know, there's some type of spiritual movement of any kind. Guarantee they're not going to stay there long. They are gonna whatever. They're gonna bail out. Most people do. Considering they're not the crazy ones that decide they're going to actually sit there and live with it and actually put up with it. And that, and pretend they're not scared of it when really they are. But most people, you know, they are going to get mad after a while because they're not being told. They will go after that real estate company after a while because they're not being told the truth, or they're being misled, or whatever. They apparently, for some reason, the area does that with the old buildings and that kind of thing, they don't actually get a clearance on the places first with a ghost track or hire a ghost tracking team to go in before selling it, which they should be doing, just to kind of verify, because if it is an old historical place and that kind of thing, you know, if they're selling or renting it off, you know, they don't want to rent something off and it being, the place has been disturbed for 1,000 years. Rituals went on at one time. Occult rituals went on there at one time, or whatever. They have to be sure it's all clear of that activity, supernatural, paranormal activity. But again, I can honestly say, yeah, like the building I live in here, I've heard things moving around in here too, but again, you know, I guess we're the crazy type of people, we're living with it, that kind of thing, and that, but you know, some people are just like that, and that kind of thing, and that's what I said, like, it is not, it is disturbing, but again, it's like more of shadow sightings at night. Even the cat is a little bit spooked by it, but again, I do have a black Siamese cat, so purebred black Siamese cat, and that's so. I mean, like literally, his eyes glow in the dark greener than Paul shirt. Totally yellowish green. If you ever see my cat in the dark, he is hard to spot in the dark. When he don't have his belt collar on, you can't find him. Like he'll literally sit there for a while. He'll close his eyes and he'll sit there and camouflage himself in the darkness, and then he'll slowly open his eyes, and then you see this glowing green yellow eyes peeking up at you, and it makes you jump. He changes the color of his eyelids, and I hate when he does that. It gives me it freaks me right out, and that kind of thing. But again, that's a trait for you. He's a weird cat at times, but he does. Like I said, he's doing things that is not normal. You know, like he actually knows how to open these doors. They'll be closed shut tight. He'll open them. You know, if the phone rings, he'll get up. He'll actually, you know, he's a cat. He'll answer the phone. Because we got one of those speakerphones on here. He'll press the button, and he'll press the button and answer the phone, and then he'll meow through the speaker, and all he hears meow. So he'll talk. He'll actually meow at you for a long period of time, and that kind of thing. And he'll actually start up a conversation with you, and that kind of thing on the phone. It is quite funny, and that's so. You know, he is just so weird in his own way. So he, like I said, he's very healthy. He's very active. You know, just for as small, he's still a kitten too. He's getting big, but he's still a kitten. But again, like, you know, he does the crazy. I have to say, Treyu does the craziest things. By the way, he does have a middle name. His middle name is Jupiter, and he's got my last name, Plain. And so anyhow, you know, so he's quite an interesting character of a cat. I can tell you that now. Um, Even my own wife, she spooks me out at times too. Especially when she wakes up with a Chucky hairdo in the morning. Like, man, comb your hair. Like, hello. Um, Especially, man, like, I mean, you ever see Child's Play or Chucky movies? Like, bad hair day. And that's, at least, you know, before I go out, I actually brush my hair down. Unless the wind picks it up like last night. It was so windy out and that. Going out to meet Mike and Paul, I was like, the moment I step out the door, my hair was just... Man, talk about Chucky hair doing. And meanwhile, there's a hairstylist right across the road from us. And that. But anyhow, like I said, so, you know, I love my shirt. I think it's great. You know, it's you know, it is really good job, well done there, Paul. I really like it. And that. Anyhow, but yeah. So again, I found the cookies I got for that Rotary Christmas party. They're like gingerbread. Ugh. But anyhow, there's the one package. I would rather the bottle of wine, fortunately, in my opinion. But because there was a number swap game, I lost out on a bottle of wine. But that's okay. I've just crossed the street from the liquor store. Anyhow, so again, it's more of those Christmas cookies. Am I making anybody hungry yet? Not cookies. Excuse me. So again, I am going to take a closer-up picture of Paul's business card. I'm going to post it on my Facebook for you so you can actually see the information on that if you guys do decide you want to purchase any shirts or whatever from him. I don't think he's, with the winter and how bad the winter snow is, I don't think he's doing any more. He'll probably will take the shirt orders, but I don't think he's going to do any personal deliveries in this weather on how bad the weather's getting and that kind of thing. I think he's going to wait till a nicer weather and that kind of thing. Unless your payment arrangements is going to go actually through his website or through an actual electronical system. That way, you know, he can mail your orders out to you and that kind of thing. I don't know how he's starting to how he's setting all that up and that kind of thing. He may still do personal deliveries. I don't know, and that kind of thing. But again, if the weather's too bad, sometimes he'll probably wait till it calms down or whatever. Just coming out this way, again, he took I'm so grateful he did come out and that kind of thing. Like he said, he was taking an actual risk coming out here and that kind of thing. And I guess he was because of the way some of the Owen Sound drivers are coming through Owen Sound alone, between Mount Forest, Collingwood, and Owen Sound. The way some of those truckers drive on the road, I guess they were almost in an accident coming out. And I'm so glad nobody was hurt and that they still got out here safely and they got back safely in that. So like again, we didn't realize that the weather was going to change that quick or this early, and that. So again, I do thank them for making the effort to come all the way out here and that kind of thing. They made it through. They made it through what you call the paranormal weather, the paranormal supernatural weather that we get out here, and the quick weather change, and that kind of thing, and that kind of thing. Just going through the actual eye of the storm, and face first, and that he was very, 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 brave at that, and I congratulate them on that one, and that kind of thing. Even me personally, if I was somebody with a driver's license or I had a car, I think I personally would have wimped out. Driving through a heavy storm like that, I'd probably head for the ditch myself. And that kind of thing. But no, I'm glad they did make it out here safely, and I'm so glad they made it home safely. And that, so... Also, too, also remember your peace, love, positivity. And I do have the selfies right now. I'm so thankful Michael Klotz did coach me with that. And that kind of thing. Because I didn't realize we're doing them wrong, because there's so many ways I've seen people do them. So I didn't know if people were actually doing them right or wrong, or if there was any right way or wrong way to do a selfie. But apparently, I guess there is an actual right way. You have to do a selfie, and that kind of thing. But we got that all figured out. So I'm so glad he helped me with that, and I'm grateful for that. And like he said, you take your palm of your hand, your thumb, your wedding ring finger, and which examples the number 7 in sign language, and you flip it around. And sometimes my fingers look like a loop. Sometimes they're bent, and that kind of thing. So that's the right selfie there, and that which represents the peace, love, positivity, which is always your wedding. The trick was it's always your marriage finger, your wedding band finger, that goes down, and that kind of thing. And that kind of thing. So again, of course, too, you've got the old 1960 selfies, but again, it's now it's all with now it is actually now with the third finger, and that kind of thing. So it's and which is actually is a newer way of doing the peace, love, and positivity selfie. And that kind of thing, which is really, really cool. And that, which is, so, and that kind of thing. And there also, too, all those hand selfies, too, also do represent different things. They do have different meanings, but they're all good meanings. They're never ever used for any negativity reasons whatsoever. Also, like I was explaining, if you ever, like I mentioned, my grandfather, when I was a little kid, when I was growing up, my grandfather was a World War I and II veteran. He served our country. He went to war. He survived war, and that kind of thing. Also in his time, when I was growing up as a kid, he was also a Freemasonry and a Shriner, and a lot of those hand movement selfies are secret codes. They're secret passageways, that kind of thing. Kind of hand communications, language, Freemason language too that they use in the Masonry halls. Same with the Orange Lodge and that kind of thing, which has a different, how they all have, they all have their different meanings, but none of it's ever linked to negativity. It's all positivity. It's always linked to peace, love, and positivity, no matter which meaning it holds, or in that kind of thing. So, and like Michael Klotz says, I even pointed out there last night, it doesn't matter where you come from, what background you are, what religion you are, what culture you are. You know, we're all seen as um, original MFers, and because we all have the same thing in common, we all share and promote peace, love, and positivity, and share and promote that, and we all got one thing in common. We're always there to give a helping hand whenever needed, and that kind of thing, which a lot of society doesn't really always see, and that kind of thing. Because like we have explained before, yes, there is a problem. Like if you grew up in New York City or whatever, and if you're so used to seeing those done by gangs, those like I said, those symbols have been stolen over the years by those gangs. A lot of those selfies were never ever. Those selfies are not gang related. Don't ever think that. There has been times where a lot of these gangs have stolen those hand symbols from Freemason societies. They've stolen them from the hippie communes, and they've twisted them around and put them in a wrong, negative way. And I'm just saying that in a peaceful, positive way. Not to put anybody down. They were used always in the wrong manner, and that kind of thing, and that is just not right. So what MFers does is what they're showing you is trying to show you the right way to use the selfies to promote it only for positivity. That is only to be used for good. For good communication amongst same, and the Freemasons use it just again for positivity, to communicate with their brotherhood, to create a family, and also to if you look at somebody who may be maybe hearing impaired, it is everyday sign language, which represents different way of talking, where they verbally cannot talk, or probably or have trouble hearing, or have trouble communicating with you. So again, it is an everyday way of talking is by hand sign language, and that kind of thing. It was never ever meant to be used in the wrong way. There is groups out there that have used it in the wrong way, but MFers does not use it ever in a wrong way, in a wrong manner. They use it in a positive way. To what it's really meant for, which is the peace, love, and positivity, and to get rid of all the negativity, energy out of our system. But again, we just live in a society where we sometimes don't have a choice. We have to live amongst that. But that's why I'm so glad that we have shows like MFers, like Michael Klotz and the MFers, because they're actually showing you the right way on how to use these, and for the right purpose, and what it really stands for, which is peace, love, and positivity, and that kind of thing. And that's so you're showing how to use it in a very, very good, positive way, and to give a positive, to communicate with positive messages, and that kind of thing. And also to all the peace, love, positivity hand symbols, and that kind of thing. Wrong finger, sorry. are you actually again, go back centuries. It could even go back to Norwegian centuries. Goes back to if you read up on the history of may go back to would go back open doors back to the Knights Templars of the Freemasons. They were always used for positivity, peace, love, and positivity, and never changed. Again, it was communication amongst brotherhood, and that kind of thing, to enter the lodge rooms or to take a seat in their lodge rooms. They were actually used for secret passageways. Believe it or not, there was only one Holy Bible that was ever coded, and the other new translations cannot be coded because the fact that they're too hard to, because they're in everyday modern English. But there is one Holy Bible the Freemasons do stand on, same with the Orange Masons, is the King James Bible, which is the only Bible according to history that was ever that was actually coded by secretly coded by the Freemasons for centuries. A lot of people didn't know that according to history, and so. I mean, that's where they got a lot of their passwords from. That is where they've got a lot of their information from, a lot of their traditions came out of it. So technically, it is all the whole entire movement is actually taken from the Holy Bible. There is no negativity to it at all, and that it is all based on positivity, and that some of what they do teach the younger generation is basically to respect one another, to respect their fellow brethren, and their lodge brethren, their lodge elders, and that, and whatever they're taught, whatever they believe in, not to push it on others, like you'll actually see a lot of these churches do today. I'm not saying again they're bad people. I'm just saying they get into their habits and that kind of thing. So again, the one is actually more of a very stronger organization in the Christian community, and that kind of thing. That's historically century years of age. At one time, again, you didn't see them. They kept underground. Nowadays, you're seeing them popping up with Facebook pages and that kind of thing. They're coming more and more out in the open, and that in everyday society today. Where 100 years ago, you would never ever see them. You know they were there, but you never ever seen them. Nowadays, you see them all over. They when they do charities and that kind of thing. Oh, their pictures are showing up in the paper with all the regalias on and everything. Where in my grandfather's day and age of it, that wasn't allowed. That was all that information was kept secrecy from the media, and that kind of thing, It was all sacred. Because they were afraid of being extorted, and that kind of thing. But today, they're coming more and more out in the open, and that kind of thing. So again, the technology, the technology times are changing and getting a little bit stronger. So nowadays, I don't know about how they are still over in England or over in Holland or different parts of the world, but I know in Canada here, our Canadian Masonaries are not afraid to post their events, are not afraid to post the pictures of their members on Facebook. They do have Facebook accounts here, and that kind of thing. Only thing, again, you don't see is anything to do with their traditions. They don't videotape any of their traditions. That they still choose not to do. But the rest of promoting their membership, a biography a little bit about what they're about, that kind of thing, you are starting to see on Facebook more so today. Like they have their own Facebook page now that they are running, that kind of thing. But so slowly they're changing a lot of their ways and that kind of thing. Yes, I have heard horror stories that yeah they might have had, like I said, they might have had a rough past when they, back those days. But those days were the war days. Things went on then. Um, like today, we live in a free country, which I'm proud to live in and being a Canadian citizen, and that kind of thing. But today, it is not like it was 100 years ago. So they're more freer. Freedom of speech is more freer today than it would have been 100 years ago, and that kind of thing. So there was a lot of stress then, and yeah. So that at one time they did have a bad history, but they don't today. Today in this generation of the younger generation of them, they're doing more. They're giving to more charities and that kind of thing. They have the sick kids hospitals that the Shriners do. They run the Shriner Circus. That goes from town to town. Like at one time, you wouldn't see them drive down the street in their little clown cars like you do today on parade. They wouldn't even go on a parade with their little clown cars. You would never ever see them as you do today. You're seeing that more and more today. It's because they're more trustworthy today. They're more, they're more opening up and coming out of the closet and kind of thing. They're being more noticeable, so that way they can gain the membership and build the membership and their membership and that kind of thing for them to grow and that kind of thing. So again, in my grandfather's day and age, no, you will not ever see a Shriner drive down the street in a clown car. Those little tiny clown cars. You never ever seen that on parades. It was like. That was considered considered exploitation, and that kind of thing. Or same with newspapers, with events. You'd never ever see them show up in the paper for giving to a charitable event or whatever. Today, you're seeing more and more of it. They're opening up a little bit more, and they're getting up with everyday today's society and that kind of thing, and that. So again, it's so which is really, really, I think it's really, really good to see. They've come a long, long way from my grandfather's time in that. They're like I said, yeah, there are churches out there. They like to tell horror stories. Man, I love horror movies. I can sit there and laugh at them because when listening to some of them get up, some of the ministers get up and tell a good sermon, I get out the popcorn. I'll actually go buy a bag of popcorn, get it out, and make sure I go get a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi. I'm going to sit there and listen to everything he says and laugh at him because I know there's no truth to it. Because like I said, I come from, my family, my own family alone background is Freemason. And even though as far as I've ever joined with, in 2000 to 2003 was the Loyal Orange Lodge in Peterborough, Ontario, and that lodge died out because members stopped coming out and that kind of thing. So they changed numbers, and because there's not too many members around anymore, and that kind of thing, and nobody ever knew where they went to, and that because they were either getting too old for it. They've a lot of the old guys, they're going off in homes, or some of them have actually passed on. They're not around anymore. A majority of them, there are very few around, and that kind of thing. So now, because now they're starting to promote on Facebook pages and that kind of thing, is to gain the membership and that kind of thing. Trying to see how many grandkids are interested in signing up and that kind of thing, and not too many in this generation, because it's again, it is too old school. Even if it is being taken over by the younger generation, it's changing. It's not staying the same like it used to back in the old days. Things. Us young people are running things different compared to what our ancestors or our grandparents ran it. It's not being run the same anymore like it used to be, because you're getting us young people in there, like us young people, coming up, following our grandparents' shoes or whatever. Even if we do take interest in it, it is all changing. It is actually like some of them are actually. It's funny because some of them are actually some of the actual Freemason orders now with the young generation of it has actually became Ghostbusters, which is actually an actual Freemason organization, which is an introductory lodge, Freemason lodge, that introduces you to the Freemasons. If you're on the road to becoming a Freemason, and that kind of thing, where they help you actually build a trade and whatever, and you buy your Ghostbuster suits, you build your own Ghostbuster proton pack, or you convert your car into the Ecto One. You actually join in an actual registered Ghostbuster chapter, and that kind of thing. And that's what I said. The young people have got it into changing it into like a Comic-Con thing to get people interested in Freemasonry and that kind of thing. So it's to build their membership, and that's where one movement is introducing them to the original movement. So again, they're changing everything. So by the time they go through the one movement, so all the levels they need to achieve, they're achieving it in the Ghostbuster stage, and then by the time they get in, they're certified to be the head chairman of the master chairman or the headmaster of that lodge, and that kind of thing at a very young age, or becoming a master mason at a very young age, and that. So that is quite neat of a movement, which is actually a new system, actually, that they've actually trying out in a lot of places. I think Toronto's has been trying that out. If I'm not mistaken, there's some of the bigger cities have tried that out. And again, it's been a success. It's been building their membership higher than normally you would ever see of interest, because that also too, they get to see how many Ghostbuster fans are really out there, and that kind of thing, that love the movies and that kind of thing, and also too, I think the States have tried it out too, if I'm not mistaken, and it's been working, and that kind of thing. So it is starting through one group and also opening doors to another group, or promoting them to the adult lodges, and that kind of thing, or a type of integration, which I think is a cool, really, really cool and better movement than what our grandfathers only had the one movement. In their time, the old traditional movement, the original way, and I guess this new way is working out. They're finding a lot better, and helping them, getting young people up off their feet, getting them off their feet, and getting them into good trades and that kind of thing. Getting them either into welding, mechanics, bricklaying, stone cutting, whatever trades that they're holding on to. People are roofing, or different kind of a lot of those different trades. Like I was talking to one guy today at Tim Hortons, and that I shared a little bit about my grandfather being in that, and he was so happy to talk to me and everything else like that. He was all talkative and everything, and that. So I mean, he was really open, and that, because back those days, they were not allowed to be that open with you, and that kind of thing. It was like it was all kept under secrecy, and like that kind of thing. Today, a lot of guys are being more open because they want the young members, and they want to see the young members come in, and that. So they're really promoting, like they're in a promotion state right now, trying to get all the young members, the young grandkids like myself interested. I did go through an actual Orange Order back in 2003, and which followed one of my grandfathers, and that lodge had died out, and they had closed their doors, and there was no other lodges around for me to rejoin. And because a lot of that now, a lot of the old tradition of it, ways of it, now is closed down. Now, and also too with it bringing another big comeback. They're actually now got this Ghostbuster movement that is actually bringing a whole new Freemason movement, and that kind of thing, which is opening doors and which is actually changing the old traditional order of it into a new order, and under the same name. So one is linking to the other so they can get the young people involved and that kind of thing. So again, they've done away with a lot of the old traditions and that kind of thing. So everything is all changing. And where at one time we were just so like even the lodge I belonged to, the Orange, it was still old school and that kind of thing, tradition, and that one actually Duke of Wellington went down, and it had a big fallout because they couldn't get the young people out and that kind of thing. They couldn't even get the grandkids out and that kind of thing, of grandparents and that kind of thing. They no longer were interested. They stopped paying their memberships or whatever that was raised in it and that kind of thing. You know, like I said, we do come from different places. Like, I mean, we come from different backgrounds. So, like I said, that's how all of us are seen differently, and that is always being seen as, seeing as original, could actually be seen as original MFers in different ways. So a part of us, carry, culture, tradition, no matter where we come from. Everybody's different, and everybody's meant to be different for a reason. And it's no matter how different we are, I'm the type of person, I'm friends with everybody. And that, like, I have friends, and I have friends that have immigrated over here from different countries. I've experienced a lot of haters against me because of it. Who hasn't? But I don't care. Like, I mean, they're people. They're they're different. They're people. Me, I like I'll hang out with anybody. Like, I don't care where they're from. I don't care what background they come from or what religion they come from. All I see is as long as they've got the same respect for me as I've got for them, and there's a friendship there. That's all that matters. And that, yeah, I was born and raised Protestant. My wife is Catholic. That doesn't make no difference. We get along great. We're not at each other's throats because of our religious difference or conversions or where we come from, and that kind of thing. And that she knows my background and that kind of thing. Now, if we were living, if we were in the country of Ireland, I think things would be I think I would be facing a lot of heavy persecution and that kind of thing. Probably not more so today, but at a little bit, yes, but not as violent as it would have been years ago, and that kind of thing. Again, it's and that, so again, that's why I'm grateful to be born here as a Canadian citizen. I was born as a Canadian. I was born in the province of Ontario and that kind of thing, knowing that I have that heritage behind me. It's but there is still the odd there is still the odd ones out there that won't accept anybody because they're different. The way I put it is they're lost in their own museum and they cannot find a way out, and they can sit there comfortably. and I can put that in a joking way, and that. So, but one day, I know deep down, one day their light is going to shine too bright, and they're going to come to their senses, and that kind of thing, and that it always does, and that kind of thing, and. Oh, thanks, Paul. I like the shirts too. I really love them. I think they're great, and that so so I'm gonna like that one, and that so also too. So this is a bit of a social and that kind of thing, and that so so again. There's so basically I'm sharing a little bit where I also to a little bit of my kind of a background too, and that kind of, and also too in my life I have hit brick walls, but I've actually learned how to smash those brick walls down. Some people it takes time and that kind of thing is understandable. It's but one day, they're gonna have the strength to smash those brick walls down and out of the way. Some people it takes longer, or some people never ever break them down. And that, but yeah. So, and I had a coffee today. Too, this morning I was up at Timmy's here. I had a coffee this morning and I had a breakfast sandwich, and then I came home and I had a slice of pizza. Good combination. And also I had stopped at the dollar store to pick up the wrapping paper and that kind of thing, which actually I think looks lovely in the background, and that, and also too, and that. So I probably. And that, so I'm going to test out one of these icons for you. I'm going to see if any new ones come in yet. If there is a certain icon you want to see me do on here, please let me know. If I've got it, or any of the previous ones you've seen you liked, if I can get them working, I can do them for you. And that. So before I go into the icons, because to do the peace, love, and positivity symbol is kind of hard to do sometimes with the icons, because some of them have masks and that kind of thing. So there's background computer effect. So again, there's the peace, love, positivity, and that. So because some of these masks are, they block your hand out, and that kind of thing. And so anyhow, I'm going to go into and see what icons I can pick up here for you, and see if I can actually get them working today, and that kind of thing. Tonight there might be a bit of a social under the Christmas lights. Again, because every night now, because we're getting closer to Christmas Eve. I'm almost at Halloween. I'm thinking back October. We don't want to go back that way. Anyhow, we got to go forward into Christmas, and then we got Halloween coming up again next year. I can't believe some people are still counting down for that, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with celebrating Halloween all year round. Meanwhile, you get all practiced up for next year, and that kind of thing. And that. So I'm gonna check out the some of the newer icons. Some of them, and that here. This one here has got a. I'm just gonna try them. Ooh, what's this one? This one's really cool. This is like a face painting, but I think it's a sports one. It looks like it's which is again is really cool. And you seen the Jose Vancouver Sharks one. You seen this one here. And again, it's another Santa Claus one, which I think is really, really cool. I'm going to take you through the different icons and that kind of thing. Before we do, this was your Joker's on duty. And so anyhow, this is one of the Christmas Santa Claus ones, which does say at the bottom, Merry Christmas. And there's one on here I want to skip. But I gotta wait for this one to load in. This one may not load in now. This is the new Jumanji one. I probably, again, I probably used it too many times. Yeah, that this one isn't coming through. No, Woody ain't working tonight either. I always liked him. The Coca-Cola Bear, he ain't working. But, and oh. Yeah, no, that icon isn't going to work either. So anyhow, some of the newer icons, like Jumanji, sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. I always thought that was funny, and that because I do already have a couple videos with that one on it, and that. And I hope you enjoyed today's Jokers on Duty session. And always remember your peace, love, positivity. And this was your Jokers on Duty. Have a great day, guys.